tour players don't get hung up on line. They want to determine the speed first. A putt doesn't have to be with perfect speed to go in. There's different ways to make a putt. You'll be able to see the ball roll down the ramp, hit that dime, and actually as it's coming in now, it's going to hit this tee right here. There it goes. Perfect.
Milwaukee's own Skip Kendall.
Skip Kendall.
Skip Kendall is 5 under today.
At the 9th. Chips in for birdie. He's tied for 3rd, 2 shots off the lead.
Hey, welcome back. Today, I'm going to talk about speed and line. I think people think that tour players are obsessed with actual line of the putt. That is not true. When we're walking up to a green, and like I said before in one of my earlier videos, green reading starts before you actually get to the green. And that being said, when we're walking up there, we're looking at the high point of the green, which way the ball's going to break, and pretty much, I would say 80 to 90% of the putt is already read before we even get to the ball. Now, the last part of that is determining, the speed of the putt, how hard we want to hit the putt, which then will determine the line. I think a very good example of this is when you're watching TV, PGA Tour golf, and they show from the ball to the hole a line that if you hit the perfect putt, if that player hits the perfect putt with the perfect speed, the ball will go in the center of the hole, wherever that center of the hole is, depending on the break. Now, that being said, there's different ways to make a putt. I always feel like a more dying putt is better because it uses more of the hole. And that little line that they show you from the ball to the hole is about like that wide. Well, in actuality, I think of it more as like a paintbrush, a wide paintbrush. Because if you hit a putt with a slower speed, it obviously is going to break a little bit more, but depending on how hard that putt is hit, it's not just that, that's perfect speed. It widens, obviously, depending on the speed of that putt. So I have a great drill today that I wanted to show you that's really helped me understand, and I give it to all my students. I call it the 3-point drill. Learned this from my coach way back when. It determines how hard you need to hit a putt depending on the break of the putt, depending if it's uphill, downhill. And let me go show you. I think this is going to really help you guys. So Carlos, kind of come behind me here. I have my old friend, the perfect putter that I'm going to use, and I will kind of get out of the way. I'm going to put it down. Now, come on up here, Carlos, real quick. So what I have is, I call it the 3-point drill. Number 1 is where you're going to actually put the ball when you putt it. So there's marks down here, and I will show you that once I remove this. There's a dime about, I would say, 2 to 3 feet in front of the ball. And then I have a tee right there where the ball's actually going to hit with the correct line and correct speed. So I always start with a straight putt. No frills here, just going to straight. So come on over here behind Carlos. If everything goes well, the ball will roll down the rail, and this shows you the perfect line. So watch this kind of like from up above here. And watch the ball as it goes down. It'll hit that dime. So the 3 points, ball, dime, tee. As we go down, ball hits the tee, ball hits the dime, and then it hits the tee perfectly. This is why they call this the perfect putter. You can't miss. It's perfect every time. So straight putt, which this is, pretty much does the same thing every time. It does do the same thing every time. You don't have to worry about break. You've already read that putt. So let's move over to a breaking putt. All right, so here we have a right to left putt. So it's a little bit different in that we have the perfect putter set up here. The ball's going to roll down, hit this dime, and it's going to enter the hole where it's going to hit this tee on the right side of the hole. So from this angle, Carlos, this will be a great angle to watch it from. You'll be able to see the ball roll down the ramp, hit that dime, and actually, as it's coming in now, it's going to hit this tee right here. So let's see if we can make this happen. Oh, just missed. And there we go, hit it perfect. Again, that would have gone in right there. Let's try that one more guy. Let's try that one more time so everyone can see that. There it goes. Perfect. As you can see, it enters the hole right here. Okay? Now, the one thing that I want to point out, there's different ways to make a putt. So with a breaking putt, I think that was perfect speed. You're using most of the hole, and as it comes in, it's going to hit that tee right there. The center of the hole now becomes, you know, this part right here where the ball's breaking in. If I wanted to hit it firmer, let's say this is really uphill and I wanted to keep some pace on it, and I had to get it there, I'm going to move this over just slightly. I'm going to add a little bit more pace to it. It's going to miss the dime to the left, and it's still going to either hit that tee or just miss it to the left. But I'm adding more pace. Okay, I got to still move it over. But as you can see now, I'm missing the dime to the left. And there it is. I just added more pace to it. Beautiful. And that was perfect. Now, when you add more pace, you shrink actually how much hole you have to make the putt. But that's okay. I mean, if it's uphill, sometimes you have to do that. All right, the other way to make a putt is actually to hit it a little bit softer. I'm going to either clip the dime just to the right of it or just miss the dime to the right of it. So what's going to happen is, if these were faster greens too, it would really help. But the ball's going to miss the dime just to the right. It's going to go in and it's going to fall right in here. It might even curl in the right corner there. Let's just try this and see if we can make this happen. And there it is. You can tell I took pace off. I moved the perfect putter. It missed the dime just to the right. So I took off speed and it curled in the right side. Severely downhill putt, you might have to hit it like that. You don't want the putt going by 3-4 feet and have that comebacker. All right, and here we have the left to right putt. Again, we have our 3 points where the ball's going to sit, the dime to roll it over, and the tee with perfect speed. That's probably what it's going to do. This is the goal that we're trying to accomplish when we're putting, right? So this would be perfect speed. Oh, a little bit firm. Perfect speed, you can see it rolls down the ramp, it hits the dime perfect, and it will hit that tee. Now, if I wanted to take pace off, because again, it was a little bit uphill, I'm going to move this ramp just a little bit further to the right. It's going to miss the dime just to the right. I'm going to take some of the break out, add a little pace to it, and as you can see, the ball will go in, no problem. And I can't reiterate enough, the more you add pace though, you shrink the hole, which is okay for uphill putts. Obviously you need to get the putt there, but that's what happens. Okay, I want to take some speed off. You're severely downhill. I want you to make putts 3 different ways. Be able to do it. So I'm going to move this so it's a little bit left of the dime now. I'm going to take off some pace. Just nick the dime on the left, barely. But then again, that's what we're looking for. Again, 3 different ways to make one putt. Perfect speed, taking pace off. You're going to miss the dime just to the left. Perfect speed goes right over the dime and hits the tee square. If you take pace off, you're going to miss the dime just to the left. And then if you add pace, you're going to miss the dime just to the right. It depends on, obviously it depends on the break. That was a left or right break, so it all depends on the break. Outside the dime, you're taking speed off, hitting the dime, perfect speed. Inside the dime, you're adding pace. 3 different ways. I make my students do this all the time. I think it's very important. Remember, tour players don't get hung up on line. They want to determine the speed first. Speed determines line. So that's the most important thing when you're looking at a putt and deciding uphill, downhill, what's going on, what kind of pace do I want on this putt. And remember, a putt doesn't have to be with perfect speed to go in. It's more of a paintbrush, not a perfect line, okay? That's one thing I want to get across to you. So, all right, try this drill. It's a 3-point drill. And Carlos, point down here. I want to show you what I did with the perfect putter. Now, I made this mark right here. That's where I set the perfect putter. So I would put the ball right there when I'm actually putting. And you can put a Sharpie mark right in the middle there. You don't need a perfect putter to set this up. This is just all about, that was easy to do with the perfect putter, because when you watch the ball roll down and see the putt itself from behind without actually putting, it doesn't miss. I mean, that's why they call it the perfect putter. It just rolls down and you can see the line in the break, and it's perfect. So, but this is how I would set it up. You know, ball, dime, tee with the perfect speed, and then making a putt 3 different ways. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Get working on the 3-point drill. It's really gonna help your putting. Want to make more putts when it counts? Pressure-proof putting is gonna show you how to do that. Grab the link below and catch your 3 free videos so you can do that under pressure.